You've been in my studio twice talking about fifth generation psychological warfare. You spent the last couple of years writing this book. It's coming out very soon. And so the fact that you're surprised, that makes me uncomfortable because you're the guy that's seen it and been talking about it and tracking it for the last couple of years. And now you see them doing it and even you're surprised and shocked. So that scares me. I guess when you're surprised by maybe how fast they're moving and to the degree they're taking it, and then all of those different vectors, I'm guessing.
Well, also, it is so in your face. It's so overt. That's the thing, is that before it was more surreptitious. They were hiding these relationships. There were these kind of back channel discussions between Facebook and the White House and Amazon and the other entities and relationships with Google. And then the data trickled out with the Twitter files first. I mean, Elon Musk, whatever you want to say about him, credit where credit's due, he broke the ice. And talk about people that are starting to get a little bit pissed off. I think he's near the top of the list with some of the things. He's come out straight out and said it's war. He's at war. Those are his words, not my words. And that's not an interpretation. He's at war both with the U.S. government and the European Union. And I'm pretty sure that the reason why he selected his CEO, Linda Yaccarino, for Twitter was now X, was because of her ties to the WEF and what appeared to be a likelihood that she could somehow thread the needle with the European Union and the WEF. And he's come to the conclusion that there's no fixing this. He's just going to go to the mat, and then there's Brazil, which is really blowing open what a lot of people have been saying. That's another way that I'm inadvertently ahead of the curve, is that in this new world order, or whatever you want to call it, that they wish to impose on us, it may be that Starlink is your only option in terms of internet access if you don't want to get, social credited to death and blocked because you are not paying your bills or you're saying unacceptable things. It is absolutely stunning. And your comment about Donald Trump, it's almost as if Donald Trump is saying, but it's not fair.
Yeah.
I would never expect that kind of sentiment coming out of that guy.
Yeah, because he's so shocked. He's shocked that could happen so quickly, even though he probably knew it was aware of the power of it. But it's now we've seen it in front of our eyes, literally within weeks.
If you could, after the panty raid at Mar-a-Lago and all of the lawfare he's subjected to, if you could shock this man about psychological warfare, you've hit him with a pretty big hammer.
Yeah. Well, all right, let's talk about Trump, because I know you didn't take it lightly with your endorsement. And maybe to tell the Trump story, we maybe need to tell the Bobby Kennedy story, at least as much as you can talk about your involvement with his campaign. And then, of course, now his endorsement, which was another big move, a big, incredible move. I had Bobby on my show on May 4th, 2020 to talk about COVID, back when nobody would allow him on the networks and everybody was saying crazy things about Bobby.
Yeah, good on you.
Yeah, and I had an amazing conversation, and I would argue Bobby is the reason I stayed away from those vaccines, because I went in with my MIT degree talking about how the science is beautiful, and Bobby said, yeah, the science is beautiful, but the humans aren't. And he laid it all down for me. And that was the first time I met Bobby, and I thought, wow, this guy is extremely intelligent, extremely articulate.
Yes.
And I had him back on when he promoted his book about Fauci and the movie, which we broadcast from our platforms as well. And then I watched him go through this incredible campaign while they tried to cut him down, but also so many people got to see the real Bobby Kennedy, which was a beautiful thing. And I still think he's the only honest politician I've ever seen in my life. Tell me about your relationship with him and, of course, your Trump endorsement.
So it goes back. How can, this is one of these things you could never forget. I'm sitting there on the couch watching TV with the wife. And I get a phone call, and it comes up W Alliance. Well, that's the Waterkeepers Alliance. Okay. Comes up on the cell phone as W Alliance. And I'm like, what the hell is this? I better take this call. I have no idea who this is. And we turn off the TV sound, and hi, this is Bobby Kennedy. And that was before he had the surgery.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
he was really raspy back then.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is Bobby Kennedy on the phone. I can't believe it. Because, I'm of a certain age. Of course, you're much younger. I was born in 59 and just about to turn 65. And one of my earliest memories, perhaps my earliest memory, is the assassination of his uncle.
Wow.
And I was with a cousin babysitting me time in Northern California. And so this guy is iconic as far as I'm concerned. This is like getting a call kind of from political royalty, literally, despite all of the smears and everything about him. I can see through that. I know what he's been doing. I know what he's been saying. I know that all this labeling of him as an anti-vaxxer when he's raising serious questions about some of the underpinnings of vaccine clinical trial strategies. As an expert in vaccine clinical trial strategies that's run many and written many more, there's a lot of merit to what he says. And over time, over the last 4 years, I'm all in on a lot of things that are in the book Turtles All the Way Down. Matter of fact, I wrote the intro for the recent French edition. So Bobby calls, and he wants to talk a little bit about CIA and their involvement in biodefense and the biodefense industry, which I know a fair amount. No, just for the record, I am not CIA. I've never been paid by CIA. I've never been employed by CIA. Never been a consultant to CIA. But you can't be in the American biodefense sector and not run into CIA. They are thick as flies. They're all over this area. And a lot of the key players, including one that I have a long-standing working relationship up until 3 years ago, Michael Callahan, is absolutely a key player in both the biodefense industrial complex and the CIA and DARPA. He's a former DARPA project manager. And he was the one that called me from Wuhan in, what was it, January 4th or something like that of 2020.
Wow.
Ostensibly from Wuhan, okay, and told me that I needed to get a team spun up because this novel coronavirus looks like a serious threat, among other things. He's also the one that told me that his people have looked over the sequence of the virus and there's no way that it was biologically engineered. That was a lie. So I now recognize that that I was being played in all of those transactions by Callahan. He was playing me as a influencer in this sector, and I own that. I will never forgive him for that and other lies that I caught him at. But Bobby wanted to dial into this and ask me some questions because he was writing a book. The book, of course, is The Real Anthony Fauci.
Yeah.
And we talked, he basically interviewed me. I told him what I knew in a frank, unguarded, open way. And then time went by and he asked me to edit the earlier draft of the book, which was a huge lift, and it was a little rough at the time. And I made a lot of detailed suggestions. I'm a pretty good editor, and some kind of concrete structural suggestions like building a new introduction, which he did. And then it came back to me again to edit, and I went through the thing meticulously. It took me days, and frankly left me depressed because what it revealed was a lot of the things in the culture, in the business space. I had dealt with Anthony Fauci my whole career. He is like the dark, Voldemort is a reasonable analogy. This dark presence over the whole sector that is allowed to do things that the rest of us would be delisted for, as in terms of being a clinical researcher. I mean, he's just there, dominating the space, controlling the money, controlling the agendas. He has been the dark force my entire career. I cut my teeth on the early days of AIDS. I have an intimate, personal understanding of Tony and Bob Gallo's early fights. Bob Gallo, notoriously in the HBO series and the band played on, is a notorious Italian street fighter in terms of the science. And he went head to head with Tony, and Tony took him out.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.